Hey everyone, another day, another handheld, with this one being AyaNeo's Pocket Micro. The Pocket Micro is part of AyaNeo's remake range of products, ultimately being their smallest Android handheld to date, with a similar-ish aesthetic to the Game Boy Micro. It's available in the Soul Red style that I chose, as well as the Magic Black and Retro Grey colour styles. Its Indiegogo retail price starts from $199 for its 6 gigs of RAM and 128 gigs of onboard memory SKUs, up to the $259 mark for the 8 gigs of RAM and 256 gigs of onboard memory Retro Grey model. The unboxing experience of all AyaNeo products is always on point, with them always feeling like they're holding top quality products inside them. But other than the handheld itself, we've got a few instructions. They go over the control setup of the hardware, as well as elements of the software like the AS Space app within Android. Otherwise, we've got a pretty decent USB-C cable included, but the Pocket Micro is a bring your own power adapter to the party type of product. In terms of specs, the Pocket Micro is powered by the MediaTek G99, which will give us decent PSP and Dreamcast emulation, as well as giving us access to some, but far from all, of the PS2, Gamecube and 3DS game catalogues. We've got the option of both 6 or 8 gigs of RAM here, with mine being the 8 gig model, though to be honest this decision was more than having a little bit more of onboard storage available, as well as the RAM, and a very nice 3.5 inch display that's a perfect 4 times the resolution scale of the Game Boy Advance at 960 by 640. The battery life is a little on the small side, with a 2600 mAh battery, which while being pushed will only get you a couple of hours of battery life, with that life being doubled when the handheld's not being pushed by what's being played on it. It's also, thanks to its metal shell, perhaps a bit more weighty than you might think for the size at around 230 grams, and has Android 13 as its stock OS. First impressions of the Pocket Micro are very good. It's got a literal strong build quality to it, and feels premium in the hands. There's nice touches throughout, like the raised inline shoulder buttons and fingerprint ready power button, and although it's obviously very rectangular, there's a lot more comfort here than I thought there would be thanks to the rounded edges. The plastic back and glossy front are somewhat fingerprint magnets, but it's a mostly sensible and compact design that certainly feels premium throughout. The down-facing speakers placed right in the corners do rely on you having smaller to medium hands to make the most of the otherwise decent audio quality, and there are a few niggles here, but overall a very good first impression. Moving on to the controls, I'd immediately say that the actual control setup, especially in terms of D-pad and face buttons, are very good. The auxiliary controls, however, like how the start and select are on the bottom left, while the AyaNeo and Android button on the bottom right, with the Android navigation buttons being on the physically right side of the handheld, all can just take a little bit of getting used to. I was routinely hitting the AyaNeo button, thinking it was the start button for a few days before it just took. The analog sticks offer a very rounded level of motion, and you can see how restrictive not having a full range of motion can be in my PSP emulation segment, for example. But this is somewhat balanced out elsewhere. Most importantly for me, although I can definitely always feel the right stick when pressing the face buttons, I quickly adapted to not knocking it like I thought I would. My hands are slightly on the larger side, so I appreciate this won't be a problem for everyone, but it was certainly something I was concerned about while looking at the renders. Otherwise, while being a tad on the smaller side, the face buttons are super responsive and feel particularly solid, with a good range of travel to them, and the D-pad has a natural curve to it that works well, despite it going a little bit too far into the shell for my personal preference. Overall, although the Pocket Micro controls aren't perfect for me, they are very strong overall. So I'll cut some gameplay footage now before summarising back up at the end. overall I do like the AyaNeo Pocket Micro, particularly for GBA and some of the older consoles. It's likely going to be my go-to GBA handheld, in fact, just due to the fun I've had with it so far. And although it is on the premium side and certainly has some niggles, I'd still ultimately recommend it. So that's it for now. Thanks so much for watching.